Imagine waking up tomorrow in the Middle Ages. No phone, no internet, no electricity, no supermarkets, no hospitals. Just dirt roads, wooden houses, and a world where a simple infection could kill you. Many people think they would become a legendary knight or a powerful ruler. But the truth is much harsher. If you were suddenly transported back to medieval Europe, would you actually survive? Let's find out. The first challenge would be adapting to a completely different world. Most people couldn't read or write. Scientific knowledge was limited. People had very different beliefs about health, disease, and nature. Even communication could be difficult. Languages sounded different centuries ago, and local dialects varied from region to region. Then there were the living conditions. Most towns had poor sanitation. Animals often lived close to people. Waste was frequently dumped into the streets. For someone used to modern life, the environment would be a shock, and that's only the beginning. Next comes food and water. Today, getting food is simple. You open a fridge, order delivery, or visit a grocery store. In the Middle Ages, obtaining food required constant work. Most people spent their lives farming. A bad harvest could lead to hunger for entire communities. The average diet was repetitive and limited. Bread was often the main source of calories. Meat was expensive and usually reserved for the wealthy. Fresh fruits and vegetables depended on the season. Finding safe drinking water could also be difficult. Contaminated water spread disease and caused countless deaths. Many modern people would struggle to adapt to such an uncertain food supply, but even if you had enough to eat, another danger would be waiting. Disease. Modern medicine protects us from threats that medieval people faced every day. A small cut on your hand could become deadly if it became infected. Without antibiotics, even minor injuries were dangerous. Dental problems were especially serious. A tooth infection could spread and become fatal. Doctors had limited knowledge and often relied on treatments that didn't work. People didn't understand bacteria, viruses, or germs. When epidemics appeared, entire regions could be devastated. One outbreak could kill millions. Simply staying healthy would be one of the biggest challenges of medieval life. Now imagine you've managed to avoid disease. You still need to work. And medieval work was extremely demanding. Most people were peasants. Their days were filled with physical labor. Fields had to be planted, maintained, and harvested by hand. Water had to be carried. Firewood had to be gathered. Animals required daily care. There were no machines to make these tasks easier. Everything depended on human effort. From sunrise to sunset, people worked to survive. Many modern people would struggle to keep up with that lifestyle. And there was another problem. If you couldn't work, you often couldn't eat. There were few safety nets and little support for those who became sick or injured. Survival depended on productivity. Even if you adapted to the work, danger remained everywhere. Travel was risky. Bandits sometimes targeted travelers on isolated roads. Wars frequently affected villages and towns. Armies could destroy crops and homes, leaving entire communities without resources. Fire was another constant threat. Most buildings were made from wood, allowing flames to spread quickly. A single accident could destroy years of work. Life was unpredictable, and bad luck could be fatal. Winter made survival even harder. Food became scarcer. Temperatures dropped. People had to rely on whatever supplies they had stored during the warmer months. If those supplies ran out, starvation became a real possibility. Many families lived only one poor harvest away from disaster. However, you do have one important advantage: knowledge. You know things that most medieval people didn't. You understand hygiene. You know that clean water is important. You know wounds should be cleaned. You understand basic nutrition and disease prevention. That knowledge could improve your chances of survival. But knowledge alone isn't enough. You would still need food, shelter, tools, and the support of others. Knowing how modern technology works doesn't mean you can recreate it. Without factories, electricity, and modern infrastructure, life becomes much harder. So, could you survive in the Middle Ages? Maybe. If you were healthy, adaptable, and lucky, you might have a chance. But life would be far more difficult than most people imagine. The Middle Ages weren't a fantasy adventure. For most people, they were a daily struggle against hunger, disease, hard labor, and uncertainty. The next time your internet stops working or your phone battery dies, remember this. At least you're not trying to survive the Middle Ages.